So today we're going to unbox this together and I'm going to walk you through how to set it up step by step. Let's get started, guys. So it showed up in this big crate and everything was packed really well. When I opened it, my first impression was just wow. I love the teal color on this DTF printer, and let me tell you, this thing is big. It's heavy too, so you'll definitely need 2 people to lift it out. Obziy sent me the DP1 standard production kit, which comes with a DTF printer, a heat press with preset DTF/DTG modes, and a DTF oven. The heat press and the oven were packed separately in their own boxes, so everything was organized really nicely. I had my son help me carry the printer to my office, and now I'm going to go ahead and walk you through how to set it up. So it was super easy to put together. First thing I did was I went to obziy.com and I clicked on support. Then I scrolled down to the bottom and you'll see enter user guide. So I clicked there and then I scrolled down a little bit more and you'll see manuals. So I went ahead and I clicked on the DP1 standard DTF printer, and then this is the manual. It is 18 pages. I downloaded it, but I also printed it out. So you'll see here it gives you a checklist of everything that you just received, and then it also shows you step by step how to install everything. So I found this super helpful. I definitely recommend printing it out, and I printed it on black and white, which was just fine. You don't have to print in color, but this really did walk me through step by step. So I definitely recommend using this PDF. The only installation you need to do is adding the 2 brackets in the back of the DTF printer, and it's super simple. You'll see the 2 brackets. One is marked L for the left side and the other one is marked R for the right side. Just screw them into the back of the printer using the 2 hex screws on each side. Next, I took the film roller and I removed the 4 components from one end. As I removed them, I set each piece down in the same order so I would know how to reassemble. Then I slid the film onto the roller and I placed the components back onto the roller, but in reverse order. You'll want to make sure both ends are securely locked in place. When I placed the film roller onto the brackets, I made sure the film was positioned so the film would feed from the upper side of the roll. This ensured that it will be correctly positioned when we're ready to feed it into the printer. Then I placed the roller onto the brackets. You'll need to make sure that the flange bearings are locked on both sides of the film brackets and your film is centered. Then you'll go ahead and tighten the brackets using the hex keys on both sides. Next, you'll want to plug in the Ethernet cable into the printer. Then you'll want to plug in the other end into the portable adapter that comes with it, and you're going to then plug that into your computer. I plugged the power cord into the DTF printer. I opened the top of the printer and you'll need to release the print head by loosening the 2 screws and removing the bracket. Next, I removed the tape from the paper guide. Then you'll want to go ahead and slide both paper guides to each side. Now we're ready to go ahead and power the printer on. You'll want to press here to open the door. And you'll want to make sure that this button is pushed down. And then close it. Now we're ready to load the film into the back of the printer, making sure the film is positioned under the rollers. Once the film is in place, if you need assistance pulling it through, you can always press the down arrow button on the screen to help feed it through. Once the film is completely through, make sure that the rollers are firmly pushed down. Then you'll want to slide both paper guides towards the center so they are securely holding the film. Now we're going to get ready to fill the ink, but we want to go ahead, we're going to leave the printer on. We're going to press this door and open it. but we want to take this button and push this up. Make sure it's all the way up. So now we're ready to fill the ink. You'll notice that the indicator lights above the ink are powered on. So I started with the yellow ink first. Once I filled it up, you'll see that the powered light for the yellow turned off. Then you'll want to continue filling each ink up one by one. Be very careful to pay attention to what color goes where. This part is very important. If the sequence is wrong, it can cause permanent damage that isn't covered under warranty. Once you get to the white ink, this one is a little bit different. This one you need to shake very well before pouring it into the bottle. One thing that I noticed that I did was I placed the wrong caps back onto the bottles. So I had to go back and put the correct cap on. You'll know it's not the correct one because it didn't twist on as easily. Now we're ready to add the print head moisturizing fluid. You'll notice on the printer on the right hand side there's a panel. We're going to go ahead and push to open that panel, and we're going to pour the moisturizing fluid into that little container, and I filled it only halfway up. You don't have to fill it all the way. You'll also notice that now all the indicator lights are off. On the touch screen, you'll go to maintenance, which it says maintained, and you'll tap load ink. This starts the suction pump, and the printer will begin pulling ink through the lines. You can watch this through the lid at the clear ink lines in the upper left area. You should be able to see the ink moving through the tubes. You'll want to make sure that there's no air bubbles and that the tubes are slowly filling with solid color. If the lines aren't full yet, you can go ahead and tap load ink again. Once the upper left ink tubes are filled with color, you'll want to make sure that the ink has reached the ink path for printing. You can do this by removing the 2 screws on the black box and carefully removing the plate. If the tubes aren't filled with ink, then you'll want to place the plate back on and go back to the touch screen and tap load ink again. Once you confirmed that all your ink paths are fully filled, the tubes are solid colors, you'll want to carefully place the black box back together. Then you'll return to the touch screen, tap maintenance or maintain, confirm strong is selected, then tap cleaning. This process usually takes around 60 seconds or less. Once it's finished, go back to maintenance and tap detect to print a test pattern. Your test print should look similar to this image. If it doesn't, repeat strong cleaning a few more times and then run another test print. Now you're ready to install your software on your computer. In the little box, you'll see the RIN dongle and the RIN software USB drive. Before inserting them into the portable adapter, you'll want to make sure that your computer has Windows operating system only. This is not compatible with other platforms such as Mac or Linux. Once you confirm that you have Windows, then you'll want to insert the dongle and the USB drive into the adapter. Make sure that it is plugged into your computer, and then you'll want to copy everything off the USB drive to your local file. Once the driver finishes installing, go ahead and install the ZRIP software from the same flash drive. After both the USB driver and the ZRIP are installed, you can open the ZRIP program. Just look for the ZRIP icon on your desktop and double click. Once you open ZRIP, it'll look just like this. And I'm going to show you something really quick before we move forward and do the t-shirt. If you're up here in ZRIP, it says System Settings. You can click that. And from here, you can also do cleaning to the DTF printer. For example, you could press clean and then head, and you can do weak, normal, or strong. So let's say we do strong. So then that is cleaning the DTF printer instead of you tapping the screen touch on top of the printer. So that is just another way to clean it. It does the same job. It's just another place that you can work it, if that makes sense. Then once it's done cleaning, you will hear it is done. Then you can go to check. And then you can hit print, the exact same as detect that we did earlier on the DTF printer. So now we're going to go right over here to this section. We're going to go ahead and import the image we're going to print today. So you're going to click up here for import. And then you're going to go ahead and select the image that you want to use. And once you double click, this import setting will pop up and it will have you put in the width that you would like. And what's really cool about this program is it automatically proportionalized, if that's a word, the correct height just by you putting in the width. We're going to go ahead and just select this, and I'm going to make this 9. And then I'm going to hit enter or OK. And then here is the image we're going to go ahead and print. So, and then another thing that you can do is down here, you'll see these little icons on the top row. Third from the right is horizontal center. You can select that and that'll put it directly in the middle. And then all we have to do is hit print, and that's it. Once the printing is finished, you can press the ahead button on the touchscreen to feed the film forward. Keep holding the button until the film reaches the point where you're ready to cut it off. Be super careful because you do not want to touch the ink at all or it will smear. You can go ahead and use scissors or you can use the cutter that they have on the machine. This is the DTF 110 volt fast heating curing oven. I usually switch it on as soon as I start printing my image so it has time to preheat. The main power button is located on the back of the unit. After plugging it in, I turn it on from the back, then I press the power button on the front. Mine is actually still in Celsius. I haven't changed it to Fahrenheit yet. For this job, I set the temperature to 120 degrees Celsius, which is about 248 degrees Fahrenheit, and the timer is set to 120 seconds. You'll also want to make sure to leave the lid open while the oven is preheating. We are going to use this DTF adhesive powder, and you should probably wear gloves when you're handling it. I'm actually not going to, but it is recommended. So I place the image in here. The DTF adhesive powder does not come with a scoop. It's just the powder. So I'm actually using an extra scooper that I had from one of my protein powders. I just washed it and using it solely for the adhesive powder. I think it makes scooping the powder a lot easier. You'll want to make sure the entire image is fully covered with adhesive powder. I like to carefully pick up the film and gently move it back and forth so I can see that the powder is coating all of the ink. Once the ink is evenly covered, I gently shake off any excess powder from the film. The important part here is making sure that the adhesive powder fully covers the ink because that is what allows the design to stick to the fabric. All we're going to do is place this down here and carefully close this, and it will count down. We're going to do 120 seconds. When the DTF oven is curing the image, I like to take the excess adhesive powder from the bin and place it back into the bag. And yes, you can absolutely reuse the excess powder. You should probably wear heat resistant gloves because this is very hot and you don't want to burn yourself. So we're going to go ahead and open this up. And I'm going to use just this little tool to slide my under here, and we're going to go ahead and pull this up. So you can tell that this is done because it gets a little bit rubbery feeling and you cannot feel any adhesive powder at all. So now this is ready to apply to a shirt. You don't have to apply this right away. So if you want to make these images and sell them for t-shirts, you can do something like that. You can mail these. I'm going to go ahead and do a few more, and then we're going to head on over to the DTF heat press. This is the heat press Obziy sent me, and it is seriously so cool. It comes with preset DTF and DTG modes. That makes setup so much easier because the machine automatically sets the temperature, the time, and the pressure for you. So while we're preheating, we're going to go ahead and just cut this out, any excess of the film off of here. And again, you can see that this is ready because it has more of a rubbery feel to it. So, and there's a big difference when you look at what it looks like when it's cured versus not cured. Go ahead and cut this one as well. I have this one. So we're gonna go ahead and place this here. And I'm gonna take a lint roller and just go over here. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and pre-press it for just a few seconds. Let's do like 6 seconds. And again, you should probably wear gloves because it is hot, heat resistant gloves. This is the image we're gonna do. This actually looks perfect. We're gonna go ahead and hit start. We're gonna do 15 seconds at 320 degrees Fahrenheit. And we're gonna go ahead and remove it. I'm not really sure why I have those little marks. I'm not quite sure, but I'm gonna find out. Well, at least it doesn't show up on the shirt. Look how cute that is. That is so adorable. Look at this, guys. That is so cute. So cute. So this is a DTF block. You can just run it over the image and it cools it down immediately. Go ahead and grab a side and we're gonna go ahead and fold. Oh my goodness, look how cute this is. This is so cute. Look at that. That is so cute. So cute. So let me share with you what I thought about DTF printer. So overall, I was genuinely really impressed. The process was a lot easier than I expected, especially if you're new to DTF like myself and you want something that isn't too overwhelming. I also loved that the touchscreen basically does everything for you. All you have to do is just press the buttons. There's no guessing or stressing. The print quality is gorgeous. Look at that. It is absolutely so professional looking and bold, bright colors, and it feels so soft. I've washed some of these as well, and they still look amazing. Look at those colors. That is so awesome. This looks amazing. I also have the DTF set right up in my office, and it's very quiet. That I absolutely love. It's a lot quieter than I thought it would be, and it's actually perfect if you're working from home. Everything you need comes right out of the box, so you're pretty much ready to go from day one. So just a quick heads up, the Obziy DTF printer hasn't officially launched yet, but it's scheduled to release in January of 2026, so just right around the corner. Right now, you can reserve yours for only $20. Their pre-order deal knocks $2,500 off the price with only a $20 deposit. That's 50% off. So if you've been thinking about getting one, now is the time. The bundle that I got normally runs around $5,627 plus tax, but with this pre-order offer, you can grab the same bundle for only $2,899 plus tax. If you're interested, I'll leave the link in the descriptions below, but comment and let me know what you guys thought of today's video. Is this something that you're interested in? I would love to hear. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.